I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and if you're on Verizon, you've got a lot of options to choose from when it comes to Android phones. Whether you need 4G LTE connectivity, ice cream sandwich, a physical QWERTY keyboard, or a nice big battery, you've got some choices in that department. Well, I've got two of those in my hands, and you know what we do in PhoneDog land when we're trying to decide which phone's the best? We put them together in a dogfight, a head-to-head, a battle until the end. Here's a Motorola DROID RAZR MAXX, and this thing has a big 3300 milliamp hour battery along with a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor, a 4.3-inch display, and an 8-megapixel camera. Then you have the Motorola DROID 4 over here, freshly announced on Verizon, available now with a physical QWERTY keyboard, a 1.2 gigahertz processor, a little bit smaller 4-inch display, and Android 2.3. Which one's the must-have device? Do you need the keyboard? Do you need the battery? Which is the better feature to have? We'll find out in the dogfight, but first some love to Best Buy Mobile, because when you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your web, your keyboard, your battery settings, and more. So when you walk out the door with either of these devices, you're good to go. They hook us up with a lot of phones for use in our One Paw Bandit game, which you can play at PhoneDog.com. Now let's take a look at these. To give you an idea of what the lock screen looks like on both of these devices, I've done this on the Motorola DROID 4, so you can see clock up top. You've got your lock screen here with the ability to switch over from vibrate or silent to sound, and then you've got a camera shortcut as well as an unlock shortcut, and it's the same on the DROID RAZR MAXX as well. So obviously, like I said in part one, these are two very, almost similar devices in a lot of ways. Both are running Android 2.3, both have Motorola's custom user interface, both are Droid devices, both have 8-megapixel cameras, both have dual-core 1.2 gigahertz processors. The difference is screen size and battery. 1,785 milliamp hours over here, 3,300 milliamp hours on the DROID RAZR MAXX. So if you're somebody that texts a lot, calls a lot, really needs that big battery because you need to make it through the day with your Android phone. And we all know how bad battery life is on most Android devices anyway. It's really not the best when it comes to battery management. The DROID RAZR MAXX is going to be your device. If you need the physical QWERTY keyboard, and it is a good one at that, take a look at the Motorola DROID 4. Now, let's go into some speed tests and go into Quadrant Standard, which has actually recently been updated to support dual-core functionalities. So hopefully that'll kind of quell the talk on YouTube. And then let's go ahead and load up both of these and do it over here as well. I don't know why I backed out of that. We'll run the full benchmark. Now, both of these are great voice devices. Motorola has a great history when it comes to wireless radios, and you see that carry over onto both the DROID RAZR MAXX and the DROID 4. I've been very pleased with both of these devices in both of those departments. Your call quality is fantastic. I took both of these to dead spots. There's a really bad Verizon dead spot in Northeast Charlotte near the university area. And both retained the call, both had no issues. There was some choppiness, but both were able to maintain it. I could hear what the person was saying, although it was kind of choppy and cut in and out from time to time. But the real thing with both of these devices, I've heard, more so with the DROID MAXX, but I haven't done as many voice calls with the DROID 4 since I obviously haven't had it as long, is they're saying things like the noise cancellation is fantastic on both of these units. So if you're somebody that, maybe drives with your windows down or you're in loud environments a lot, this is going to be a good device to get, because if you're like me, I hate hearing that stuff in the background. I hate it when people say, "Where are you?" Well, you sound like you're in a tunnel, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. I think you'll be happy with both of these devices, because when it comes to earpiece, when it comes to microphone, and when it comes to voice quality, they're very good across the board. Now, battery life, as you would expect, much, much better on the DROID RAZR MAXX. With the DROID 4's 1785 milliamp hour battery, I'm able to make it about 10 hours with moderate use before this phone powers down. Over here, I haven't been able to kill this phone yet in a day of moderate to heavy use. I'm talking calling, 2 hours of calls, text messaging, 300 to 400 texts a day, taking some pictures, downloading some apps, browsing the web. Its 3,300 milliamp hour battery is really doing a good job. And when I did the battery tests on this device, what I would do is wake up in the morning, let's say 6:30, 7 o'clock, I'd pull it off the charger, and I would charge it at night regardless of where it was. And I could never get it lower than about 30% by 11 or 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. So very good battery life, and it charges pretty fast as well. So if you're somebody like me that lives off that quick charge, you should be relatively pleased with the DROID RAZR MAXX. It's not like some of the older Samsung devices that take some time to charge. You can usually live off of a 15 or 20 minute charge if you do that in between meetings or class. something like that. So very good on the battery front, huge over here. Can't get over how good the battery is on this device. And again, it's a much needed thing for Android. It really brings you to the point that if they can do this and keep this device at 8.99 millimeters thin, why can't every other manufacturer? No longer is it an excuse for HTC or Samsung or any of these other LG, any of these other carriers or manufacturers rather, not to have big batteries. I mean, this 1600, 1700 milliamp hour mess is just not going to fly in the future, and I hope that people stick that to the carriers, or to the manufacturers rather, as time goes on. So this device, 2,329, so 2,329 the Droid 4, still loading up here on the Droid RAZR MAXX, so we'll see what it comes in at. But 2,329, very respectable score, and then over here, 1,671. So obviously take these with a grain of salt. The Droid RAZR MAXX is just as fast in day-to-day performance as it is, but you can really see the screen difference here with all of these colors. Take a look and how that looks, and you can really see that Super AMOLED Advanced display with the blacks being very black, playing a nice role as opposed to the QHD display over here. Colors look great on the Droid RAZR MAXX. I've been very impressed with this, so you can really see that in real life there. Let's take a look at the 8 megapixel cameras on both of these devices, and they both have 1080p HD video recording as well. So no real differences here, and in terms of interface, it looks mostly the same. You can see, and I'll hold this one underneath so you can take a look. You've got your taking the picture button, your shutter button, and then you got your ability to switch it back and forth between front-facing and rear-facing cameras. You've got your video toggle there, so you can switch between video mode and between camera mode. And then you can come down here and see your settings as well. Settings, white balance, ISO, things like that, all down there at the bottom. You can easily get rid of those, along with zooming in and out by using this little metric over here on the side. So for our test, let's bring in, let's say, how about an AT&T? Let's see. Let's do something else. How about a pen? We'll bring over this pen and take a look at it. So we'll focus in on that. Let's see what we can do here with this pen. This really isn't the best example, but I don't have any phones nearby outside of the ones I'm using in this video, so we'll do it over here as well. Now, interestingly enough, let's focus in. There we go. So interestingly enough, both are not interesting, as I should say. You know, both of these are doing a pretty decent job in the camera department with the 8 megapixel camera, and really the differences that you're seeing are a result of the AMOLED display over here as a result of the QHD display. So in terms of the camera department, I've really got to give both of these a tie. I've been doing camera tests between the two for a while now before shooting the video, and really it's about equal across the board. So I think you'll be pleased with either one of these, particularly when you print it out using Moto Print, which comes pre-installed on both of these devices, where you can print wirelessly, or you email it yourself and print it out. You're going to get about the same picture quality on both of these devices. And the same thing with the 1080p HD video recording. Check it out over on the site and on YouTube with either of these devices. I've got samples up with both, but you know, about the same in terms of sound and video quality on both units. Let's take a look as well at speed test. 4G LTE connectivity over here, although Verizon's been having some interesting network things. I don't know if it's a network issue per se, but I've been seeing slower LTE speeds, and this is probably as a result of more people coming on to the LTE network, but I've seen it more and more over the past couple of days, maybe a week, and it's been kind of odd, to say the least, because it was super fast, and I have a Verizon cell site right across from my office, and it was super fast, and all of a sudden it just kind of slowed down. So let's go over here and take a look here, and we'll load up Shelby. Actually, we'll load up Chester on both of these devices. So Chester, South Carolina, and we'll do a speed test and take a look. Verizon quotes 5 to 12 megabits per second on the download and 2 to 5 megabits per second on the upload. And that's really what I've been seeing. I've been seeing like 5 to 6 megabits per second on the download, and then about 1.5 to 3 on the upload. Although, see again, you know, it's definitely taking its toll now. As more and more people get on the LTE network, I'm really seeing speeds like this more often. I'm really not seeing those crazy bursts like we were before with, 16, 24 megabits per second on the download and, 10, 12, 14 megabits per second on the upload. These are more realistic speeds now. 6.8 megabits per second on the download, 7 megabits per second on the download over here, and then the upload, we've got about 3.5 and then about 5 over here. And of course, that's all dependent on time of day and other factors that we can't really consider in a 10-minute video, time of day, network congestion, etc. But still, you can see, they've slowed down a little bit and they're more balanced out, if you will. So both of these are good devices. I think you'll be happy with either one of these. But before we sign off, I want to show you YouTube on both, because I want to show you it really does make a difference. You may not think so, but it does make a little bit of a difference on both of these units. The 4 to 4.3 inch display. Let's go into Phone Dog here so you can see, and we'll just do the Galaxy Note unboxing, for example, because I want to show you the difference that extra screen real estate makes. It really is a nice difference. Hang on. Let's get this advertisement out of the way here. Okay, come on. And we'll get the advertisement going here. And you can take a look at the videos.
How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron.
Come on, look. There we go. Let's see if I can get them to play at the same time. Doubt it. But we'll try.
How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron.
Yeah, but you get the idea.
Version of the Samsung Galaxy Note.
And let me hold this one up so you can see as well. And so it may not look like a big deal. Kill off both of these because I'm just hearing myself talking everywhere. Not a huge deal, you know, when you think about 4 to 4.3 inches, but when you're using to consume a lot of media content like YouTube videos, music videos, browsing the web, and more, I think you'll find that extra screen real estate is really useful on the Droid RAZR MAXX. So a winner's got to be declared, and the winner of the dogfight is the Droid RAZR MAXX. Just in terms of features that it really offers a great rounded feature set. I mean, you got a 4.3-inch display, which is a pretty decent sweet spot, a little bit bigger than 4, but still not too big, not up to Galaxy Note size. It's got a dual-core processor, but the real winner here, given Android's battery history, is this 3,300 milliamp hour battery. It's fantastic. It's nice to see an Android device that I can't kill. Maybe you can kill it, but I'm not able to make it through the day. Still a great battery, and in a device that's 8.99 millimeters thin at best. So huge battery, thin device, it looks good, that has Kevlar coating, that has Gorilla Glass, a nice dual-core processor. It's running Android 2.3. It's nice and zippy, and you know, the screen real estate's pretty decent for browsing the web and for doing YouTube. Now the Droid 4 is a great device. It's $100 cheaper too, so keep that in mind. $199.99 over here, and so $100 cheaper. And even though the screen's a little bit smaller, you get a nice 5-row QWERTY keyboard down in this bad boy as well. So if you're sending and receiving a lot of texts, maybe some emails, you're doing a lot of stuff that requires a keyboard, I think you'll find that this is a decent device as well. So you really can't go wrong with either one. It really depends on what you need, but in terms of all-around specs, Droid RAZR MAXX takes home the gold. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with both of these devices, RAZR MAXX, Droid 4, more dogfights to come, so keep it locked on the site, PhoneDog.com, and while you're at it, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog, and be sure to follow me on Twitter as well and let me know what you think. If you've got the Droid 4, you love the battery, you hate the battery, you love the keyboard, you hate the keyboard, I want to hear from you across the board. So let me know on Twitter, PhoneDog_Aaron, and on Facebook at Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks so much for watching. Keep it locked on the site for more dogfights between the hottest Android devices on the market today. We'll see you next time.